Of being in a studio with John Sane, global speaker, motivational and otherwise, best-selling author and trend specialist.
Thank you.
Welcome back. Remember to send out your questions by WhatsApp or Twitter or phone call if you have a question for John. John is not a stranger to you, actually, I believe, or to all of us. Kino sends his best, I forgot to mention.
Thank you.
Because you're an upstanding man. Back to the business. Now, John, we've spoken up till now about how your perspectives impact the individual and how we approach the world for personal success.
Yes.
You have a large portion of your business that focuses on corporations.
Yes.
How do your insights help them spotlight and recruit the best talent, or even, I suppose, prepare for a changing world?
Well, you see, organizations around the world are made up of humans. Right. So, I mean, it's kind of the same thing.
For now.
Yeah, well, good
robot,
point, good
right?
point, good point. The thing is that most organizations struggle with changing of behavior in the preparation of the future. Okay. Everybody in organizations knows about autonomous vehicles, artificial intelligence, blockchain, but nobody's actually changing their behavior. And the problem is that people are being measured on balance sheets, not on changing. Mm-hmm. And so once we are celebrating people on profitability, efficiency, and balance sheet goal sets, what we are not able to do is plan for the 5-year sort of goals. We have to keep planning for quarterly targets. Right. So organizations are asking their people to run marathons, but giving them sprinting training. And so what I do with organizations is I help them build 3 teams. I call them the today team, the tomorrow team, and the day after team. And the today team is exactly what you're doing now. It's the 1 to 2 year horizons, it's innovation, it's modification, it's efficiencies. And these are the things that we're doing right now. But organizations need to start building the 2 to 5 year team or the tomorrow team, where you're starting to work with the specialists on blockchain and artificial intelligence and understanding what your market and sector will look like over the next 2 to 5 years.
Do they necessarily have to be different teams? So
yes.
Okay. So
and I'll tell you why.
Please.
Is they need to be 90% new people, 10% old people. Okay. And so the thing is that the people that are sitting in the 1 to 2 year teams, they have short-term goals to achieve. You can't have people that have got medium terms and short-term goals in the same space, because they don't work with each other.
Correct.
Now, we got to also understand very quickly on the side here is that innovation and disruption are very different. And today, what businesses are doing are focusing on innovation, which means that what we do is what we did yesterday, just a bit better tomorrow. The best example of this is Gillette. 1 blade, 2 blade, 3 blade, 5 blade, 6 blade. Who asked for the 6 blade? But Gillette can't help themselves, because that's all they do is innovate. Disruption is making your current business model obsolete in order to build the new business model. And this is the 2 to 5 year team. You can't bring somebody from the today team and get them to make their current business model obsolete in order to build the new business model. That's what the tomorrow team is about.
It becomes an existential fear.
A total one.
Talk to me about the day after tomorrow.
The day after tomorrow is the 10-year, the 5 to 10 year goal. These are made up of futurists and creative thinkers that are the dreamers of what the possibilities of day after could be, and where we can start slowly but surely changing the organization's trajectory to move towards that sort of 5 to 10 year goal.
Okay, now you and I have worked together for a while.
Yes.
You've even assisted me in some of my my work previously with my company, which cannot be mentioned on air.
Yeah.
And one of the things that you've always been very open about is the need for chief future officers.
Yes.
Or like the I think it's the Swedish government has a minister of the future.
Yes, Dubai's got the Minister of Artificial Intelligence.
There we go.
Yeah.
To what extent is that sort of an entire department, that 10-year future team, as opposed to just sort of a team that works under and reports to the CEO?
Yeah, you see, I think you're going to still be reporting to the CEO, but your mandate is different. Right. And so when you're sitting on a board, what you most probably have is a set of engineers and accountants that are trying to plan the future. And both engineers and accountants and CAs are extremely they don't want to take risks. They're just not about taking risks, you know. So
then what type of insight and what kind of skill set does a futurist have?
Well, it's the person that's trying to change the trajectory of your business based on what the human need states and expectations are going to be over the next 2 to 5 years, where we need to start understanding that the future is not about technology so much, but about understanding anthropology. Okay. Because if we don't understand the disruption of culture that's happening, we won't understand how to build businesses for it. If you just think about what used to happen happen in a little village in Sicily where we used to have about 2,000 people living, you would have 15 churches determining people's responsibilities, roles, and obligations. You had very little choice, but absolute certainty. Today, we have something very different. We have the burden of choice with zero certainty. Society is shifting and changing, and business models need to understand the cultural nuances besides the technological nuances.
So flexibility, as a form of empathy even, one might say, is what's really necessary. And so possibly the best generation for this, from what you've described as a Gen Z generation.
Well, I think anybody that's adaptable and flexible.
Right.
You know, you can have 60-year-old people that are adaptable and flexible and 22-year-old people who are not. Okay. So it's not just an age thing, it's a consciousness and awareness thing. It's an ability to be flexible and adaptable. And ultimately, a state of awareness is required, not a state of fear. And what most people are in a state of anxiousness because they're trying to predict tomorrow that is almost impossible to predict based on the history of where they come from.
Talk to me how the skills of hindsight.
Yes. So I'm writing my new book called FOREsight at the moment. And what I'm trying to share is the perspectives that I see amongst people and organizations around the world, which are almost exactly identical. No matter if I'm in Abu Dhabi, in New York, in Durban, it's pretty much the same. People are suffering from four perspectives. The first one is hindsight, is people that live about repeating the past just a bit quicker and faster tomorrow. The question I ask in this section of the book is, are you living a life based on a set of memories from your past, or are you living a life based on the vision of your future? And if you realize that if you keep repeating the past, what you have is a familiar past that gives you a predictable future, and that is disastrous. Another focus and other perspective is plain sight. These are the people that only believe the things that are happening to them via their five senses. If they don't understand that quantum science is changing the perspective, moving from seeing as believing to believing as seeing, we now understand that we have every bit of power to project into the future and into reality, our ability to create the future and not be victims of it. Right. But I think the biggest problem we have today is people who live in insight. These people have got degrees upon degrees. They have the knowledge of superstars. They have been to every talk and read every book, but they cannot change their behavior. They are rich in knowledge, but low in wisdom, because wisdom is practiced knowledge. And when we get ourselves into a place of foresight, what we've got to develop is the ability to cultivate our wisdom and to awaken our curiosity. Now, wisdom is best described by Alan Watts. He says, the knowledgeable man has to learn something new every day, but the wise man has to unlearn something new every day. It is in the unlearning of your past where you can think of your memories with no triggers, and you become free of your past. And curiosity is when you start making decisions with your heart, not your ego and not your logical mind. Now you're in a state of foresight, and foresight gives you an immense ability to be adaptable, flexible, creative, and innovative.